Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Bank Roadshow meeting. I'm Andrea Mendez-Barrutia, the Director of Community Engagement for the Hispanic Collaborative. For those who may be new, the purpose of the Bank Roadshow series is to support Milwaukee's banking, financial, and frontline entrepreneur support community with in-depth information on the entrepreneurial ecosystem programs and services in order to strengthen our community's budding and existing entrepreneurs. Today, we have Sinai Mendoza joining us, as well as Cristina Villanueva from Negoci. They provide financial education for the Consulate of Mexico in Milwaukee, and it's called the Ventanilla Financiera, and we're translating it as the financial advice booth. And so I will hand it over to Sinai, and she will talk about the program and the resources that they provide the Mexican Consulate, which is for the public, and then we'll open it up to some Q&A.
Awesome. Can everyone hear me? Are we good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sinai Mendoza, as it was mentioned, and I am the financial advocate / representative of the Ventanilla Financiera at the Mexican Consulate. Thank you for welcoming to this space today to bring you the services that we have to offer in our community, and that we're working really hard to make sure that our community has access to financial education and entrepreneurship. If we can go to the next slide, that would be great, please. Thank you. So to begin today's presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Mexican Consulate is. So the Consulado Mexicano, or the Mexican Consulate, is an official branch of the Mexican government that operates in the US and other countries. So these are basically embassies. That's what the translation that I can think of. And we have 50 consulates of Mexico in the US. Their main, obviously, its main purpose and its main function is to protect and defend the rights and interests of Mexican nationals, and to assist and advise those in cases such as like abuses, work-related mistreatment, or from authorities. Always put in the human rights and the respect first. So within the Mexican Consulate, there's 3 main departments. We have the documentation, the legal protection, and the community affairs department, which the community affairs department is the one that that I'm part of. And the main job, so the Department of Community Affairs, its main job is to execute the programs of the government of Mexico through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Institute for Mexican Abroad, also known as the IME. And it's to aim in improving the quality of life and facilitate the social integration of Mexican immigrant communities in the US. It also promotes community organization and civic engagement for Mexican immigrants, promotes preventive health, access to education opportunities, and education for the best management of finances, and the protection of family assets. And finally, it generates initiatives, designs strategies, promotes alliances, and builds networks with other organizations and institutions that work for the benefit of Mexican families. Next slide, please. The Department of Community Affairs, again, its main job is to work in coordination with government institutions and community organizations in the prevention, care, and support of the social needs of Mexican immigrant families. It builds bridges between the Mexican community, the local authorities, and public and social institutions that provide social services, both from the US and Mexico. And its main areas and its main departments that it takes care of is the education, health and sports, and financial education and entrepreneurship. So as you can see, there's some images in there. You'll see our base on the top, you'll see the main logos, or like the main programs we have, which is the health, education, and Asesoría Financiera, which is the financial part of the Department of Community Affairs. And basically, just to like summarize what I have said, the main job of the Department of Community Affairs is to connect our constituents, our Mexican immigrant, with the resources that are outside the community, not only in Mexico, but within the states and in the community, so they can have access to thrive, not only to thrive as community members, regardless of immigration status, race, gender, whatever. This is our main purpose, to make sure that they have access to these resources, that they're connected, that they have access to good health, to good education, and for them to thrive in our society with their finances. Our next slide, please. So the department that I will be talking today about is the finance department. So part of the Mexican government wanted to have a financial program in the Consulado Mexicano. So several of these consulados have those three main programs within the community affairs, as I mentioned: the health, the education, and the finance one. And part of that, again, is to make sure that we deliver a financial education and economic, it's part of the financial education and economic development. And within this, their goal is to promote financial inclusion for Mexican immigrant families, brings information of services to community to encourage better financial decisions, promotes programs that strengthen family wealth and the better use of their financial resources, and promotes programs for small investments in Mexico and financial services available to Mexicans in the US. As part of that is strategy for them to, yeah, if we can go to the next slide. Awesome, thanks. As part of the financial education and economic development plan that they have, obviously they have to have some type of program in the community affairs department. And that's how the Educación Financiera, or the Ventanilla Financiera, was born. And it was opened in December 2021 through a MOU with a local agency. And this local agency, as we have Christina in here, she could probably talk a little bit more about Negoci, but Negoci is a national red intended to empower and create content and educate Spanish-speaking entrepreneurs. And the cool thing about Negoci is that they have seen the need in our community and our entrepreneurs and in our entrepreneur Latinx community, and seeing that most of the content that is being delivered to them is in Spanish. And so there was the need of making sure that our community, our business owners communities who do not speak English or who have very limited English, have access to the resources, to the education that they need to continue thriving and empowering themselves and their communities and their business. So, which is why the Consulado Mexicano, decided to have this partnership with Negoci, to make sure that we continue to empower our communities. This memorandum, as I mentioned, I think it was signed sometime at the beginning of November, and we started officially the Ventanilla de Asesoría Financiera, the financial booth. It was officially started at the Consulado in the beginning of December 2021. And what we have been doing so far till today is doing every Tuesday, we have Facebook shows there are segment, and we call them Peso Sobre Peso, which literally translates to like every penny counts. So we have the shows where we bring local agencies and experts in topics of entrepreneurship or finance, personal finance. And I sit with them. They usually have a presentation or some sort of like, it's like a mini workshop, I would call it, through Facebook Live. And then I get to ask them questions, right? I get to ask them questions or like get any clarification. And we try to get our viewers, get engaged as possible by them asking questions and leaving comments. So then we want to make sure that our community and encourage them to like share the video, to like share it with their family members, their friends, or like, just interact with us, because we want to make sure that we also know what are their needs, what are their questions, how are we going to, what's the next, maybe what's the next program that we should have, right? If we see a higher need on people wanting to know the importance of IT numbers, how can you get a credit card with an IT number or such, or how can I start a business with an IT number? We want them to give us that feedback, so then we can bring the experts and the local agencies and organizations that are going to help them go through that process. One thing that I have to make clear is that, like, as the Mexican Consulate, we don't provide the services, we facilitate the services. So we have the local organizations and the local experts that come to us, right? And then we help, and then we guide our constituents to the right people that they need, so they can go through the processes that they need, so then they can continue thriving better, not only financially, but as I had mentioned, for them to have better health or education. Can we go to the next page, please? Sorry, I'm trying to like follow my notes in here on my screen. So as I had mentioned, we have the financial booth, and the BAF, or the Ventanilla de Asesoría Financiera, is an informational and free space that brings guidance for the better management of personal and family finances, as well as entrepreneurship. So as you can see, those are some of the programs that we have had in the past. I don't know if you can see it really well. So we have had Cristina talking about the importance of IT and how to and importance of IT when you're doing your taxes. We have talked about impuestos para contratistas, which are taxes for contractors, right? So those are examples of the shows that we have every Tuesday. And again, this space is free. Our constituents can come in. Usually what they do is like they come in to have some sort of documentation being taken care of, like either the to get their passports of like some sort of ID or like a birth certificate. So since they're in there already, they can come into the consulado, and then these resources are available for them. They can come up to me, ask questions if they want to know about, oh, like I really want to open a business, but I don't have a social security number. Is there like an alternative? Or like I heard that like you can open a business with an IT number. And so they can come up to me and ask me those questions, and then I can guide them through that process of finding the right person in the community, or like giving them a list of the organizations in the community that can help them. So then they can go and help them with that process. This is not only in the Milwaukee area, but we, as the Consulado Mexicano, we cover the whole state of Wisconsin and the upper level of Michigan, the border level of Michigan. So we have a lot of people coming from Michigan, for all over Wisconsin, and we even have some people coming from Illinois to get their documentation in here. And so by then coming in here too, they come into a hub of resources. And then these resources, again, they're available for them. There's no cost to them. They just have to come up to me and ask me those questions, and I can guide them through the process of finding the right person for their needs. And we can go on to the next slide. So now I'm going to mention a little bit of the resources. Can you still hear me? Yeah. Can we go on to the next slide, please? Oh, okay. I don't see it on my screen changing that. Okay. There we go. Thank you. So So I'm going to talk a little bit about the services that the financial booth offers that are available from Mexico.
Sinai, I think we're losing you, probably because of the internet. Hello? Okay, so I will, while you get settled in with your internet, I'll go ahead and take it on from here. Okay, yes. All right, so as she was mentioning, hello everyone and good morning. I apologize for having some of these inconvenience. But I do, as Sinai, as she mentioned, has and handles the financial advice booth. This financial advice booth is meant, as she said, is to build that connection and empower the immigrants that are here to have a smooth transition as they come to this unknown country. And therefore, it is very important that we get to know who are those resources around us. And that's why we're so happy we attend and we work with Hispanic Collaborative, because we are going to be building, the Mexican Consulate would like to build a resource template where it speaks about who locally is serving that ITIN holder, or who has Spanish speakers that are available in their location to open up bank accounts, to get a loan, to service them in their tax returns or in their process of purchasing a home. So these are all of the different definitely available resources that will be available to them, not only if they come to the Ventanilla Financiera, but we're building this template that will be also posted online at the Mexican Consul website. So some of the services that, as she was mentioning here from Mexico, is opening checking and savings accounts. So the awesome thing is that not only do they open accounts here in the United States, but it allows them also to open up bank accounts in Mexico. A lot of our immigrants coming to the United States sometimes leave things behind that have not gotten cleared, meaning they moved out here and now they forgot to close out a bank account, or they had a retirement plan. How do they access that retirement plan? The Mexican Consul helps with that, and the Ventanilla Financiera, which is the VAF, helps to provide those resources for them. So even if the person is in the United States, they still have the ability to contribute to their retirement plan that they already had established. So these are all of the different programs with that the Mexican Consul offers. And through this Ventanilla Financiera, we're able to discuss them. Sinai, can you hear us now?
Yes.
There you go. No.
You guys hear me now?
It keeps.
Awesome. I don't know outside, so maybe. Oh.
Sinai, you keep cutting off, honey. Yes. No, don't worry. We'll go to the next slide.
Okay.
All right. So some of the financial advice brings guidance about accessibility financial services in Wisconsin and Mexico in the US. Below are some of the available resources available, such as I mentioned, opening a checking and savings account, guidance about tax filing, understanding of filing taxes with your ITIN, guidance to understand the importance of credit and the process of building that credit, general information about buying or purchasing a home in Wisconsin, the prevention of mortgage fraud, entrepreneurship guidance, as well as how to open a business in Wisconsin and how to file your taxes. So these are some of the things that we're already seeing that Sinai has brought on guest speakers and experts to be able to facilitate and show what resources they have. So for example, today we have a gentleman that's from the I think he's from the Department of Labor, and we'll speak to them about what is their rights, if I'm not mistaken, or a couple things that Sinai has in mind for us. But we have a lineup of different speakers that will be speaking every Tuesday, we have this show. And therefore, this is the best way that we found to deliver this message, because so many times a lot of these people might not be able to read or write. So we don't want to intimidate them of saying, well, if you don't know how to read or write, I can't give you this. But now we're explaining to them, hey, we're going to meet you where you're at. And therefore, that is where now they're coming to a safe zone. They come and get their passport, they come and get their documentation. And it's a safe area where they feel they could approach someone and explain to them their situation. Obviously, we understand they're vulnerable. People might take advantage of them, or they have experienced that. So therefore, in this safe environment, they're able to ask those questions and know that they're going to be referred to someone that's going to treat them correctly. So we'll go to the next slide. And once again, this is part of an example of what we do on Tuesday, which is called Peso Sobre Peso. And the next slide is a little bit more information on how you can reach Sinai. So her name's Sinai Mendoza, and that is the email address as well as the phone number with the extension. She, along with myself, will probably be reaching out to a couple of you to discuss some sort of collaboration to bring you on this show, or as well to know what resources are out there. For some of you who are very new to knowing what Negozi does, I would like just to take a little bit of your time. I know we're good on time, it's 8:58, just to talk to you about what we believe in, and how we plan to solve some of the issues that we notice. So we believe education and access to information and access to those resources and access to those subject matter experts and that network, it's what separates successful entrepreneurship from those that can't scale and really struggle to survive. Negozi, as Sinai mentioned, it's a social learning company that helps entrepreneurs learn, connect, and grow. We have noticed there was a problem I wouldn't say a problem. We just noticed that what keeps Spanish speakers at times from growing, right? So the Spanish-speaking Hispanic Latino immigrant business owners don't have access to the information to make the right business decision at time. Many of them are great at what they do, but they don't have, they didn't go to business school. They don't have, that knowledge, especially as coming from a different country. While they are hardworking and dedicating to operating and building their business, they definitely lack that knowledge and that subject matter expertise to conduct that successful business in the United States. They want to grow, but they don't know how. They want to follow these rules and regulations, but they don't know where to even start. They don't realize that they are doing things the wrong way or inefficient, or as well, sometimes they're not complying, right, with the laws. They obviously learn by this trial and error. So they do it, oh my gosh, they now get a letter, they fail, now they come back and look for a resource, right? So it's a lot of that trial and error, and they have a significant trouble navigating and leading navigating the lending and definitely that capital opportunities of this country. So what Negozi is designed to do is a national, but a very hyper-focused locally. So we focus on understanding you where you're at. We've partnered up with a couple of actually banks and organizations. We've gotten sponsorships from Google, from Xero, from Chase. So we're definitely building this ecosystem to help and get your resource, what you have to offer, and put them on our website. It's kind of that a LinkedIn all in Spanish. All the information está en español. All the resources are in Spanish. We have resources available to our members, all free. We have some of those that do cost maybe $23 or, depending on the price. Depending on the course and who we're bringing in. So that is in a nutshell what Negozi is. And together with the Mexican Consulate, we plan to bring in definitely more events free to the community. So I'm open for any questions, any comments anyone has to say, and I would like to thank you for being here this morning.
Can anyone hear me now? Oh, I'm still not working.
We can hear you. Thank
Okay,
you,
I'm
Sinaí.
sorry for that. I'm sorry.
No worries. Thank you, Sinaí and Cristina. This is a wonderful resource for the community, be able to have this information in Spanish and to have a library of this information. So we're going to open up to Q&A, but I did have a question. All the Peso Sobre Peso videos, are those in a library somewhere right now?
Yes, those are on the Facebook website of the Mexican Consulate. So they are located there. And I also believe they're located on a folder in YouTube.
Mhm.
Good morning, everyone. This is Pamela Bell with Self-Help Federal Credit Union.
Hi, Pamela.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to hear you this morning.
You as well. Very informative presentation. So thank you so much. I know you are familiar with the products and services we offer and even serve on our board. We are that service provider. So my question to you is, how can we support this work and be more engaged and just cross support one another's efforts and work?
Correct. Yes. Thank you so much for asking that question. For those that might not know, Self-Help was actually one of the first sponsors that we had that believed in this mission. And we started off with a little coffee, event where Lydia would go and speak to the attendees about the services they had. It was so successful that Lydia had so many people come to her. So I get very excited when you do something and it's like grassroots and it actually works, right? So going back to your question, we can continue probably having you maybe on a show on a Tuesday, or say down the line, the gentleman who is in charge of this, his name is Dante, el Señor Dante Gomez, who's the Consul of Community Affairs, is possible.
Yes, we've met with him.
Yes,
Yes,
would like to do some in person. We're starting to do little by little in-person charlas where we discuss, or we go to local parishes, community locations, and we give some of these classes. So that's one of the ways. And like I said, there's a show on Tuesday. There's also going to be that template that we're going to build, that your information can definitely be in there. So definitely I will connect you with Sinaí, so that way we could see where we put you in, maybe some sort of in the next show that we have on Tuesday.
Okay, sounds good. And copy Lydia
For sure.
on that. Absolutely. Well, thank
Mhm.
you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Any other questions? I have a question about the resource template.
Yes.
How are you going to be collecting that information? Like, are you going to be asking?
So, yeah. So we were thinking of coming as well to you, since since Hispanic Library has a good deck of who's available and what services they have to offer. I know the Mexican Consulate also already has a list of those, but together this is fairly new, so we just started everything with the consulado, though it's like a baby, getting done here. So we'll figure that out, by reaching out to you as well, and then with the contacts that the Mexican Consul has, and probably seeing what else is available in our area.
Any other questions?
So then will you be reaching out to all of us then on the call regarding partnership, or how will that work?
Yes, we can definitely do that. So what I will do is, I'm pretty sure Andrea has your information, and I will reach out to her. Possibly that's who we were thinking of starting with, the Hispanic Collaborative, since they've done such a great job of bringing professionals that serve our community. So that way that information is available to them. So if you are part of the Hispanic Collaborative and are with her, she definitely probably has your information. If for some reason she does not, I would definitely suggest that you email Sinai Mendoza, who is the financial consultant there, at this email below. I don't know if you're able to see it. I know it's very little, but it's vafmke@sre.gov.mx.
Sounds good. I just didn't know if there was, a process that we would be going through, or if we're just reaching out individually. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Not a problem, Kim. Thank you. Perfect. Awesome. Well, the last thing that I'll say is we are going to be having an event in October in collaboration with the Mexican Consulate. There'll be more information to come. It will be for the first time, all in Spanish, an event for mujeres, women in finance. And definitely we'll keep you all in the loop of what this looks like. It's October 15th. And I'm very, very excited to bring this to Milwaukee and to be able to join forces with the Mexican Consulate to bring the best speakers as well as the best information. It's going to be everything from understanding who you are, what your mission is as a woman, as an individual, how to set those goals, to going into understanding your finances, understanding how to be able to save money for your retirement, and how to access capital. So if you would like to purchase your building, or if you would like to start a business, what are the things going to look for? What is a good health, financial health? What do those books look like for? And what should you expect to be asked? So I'm very, very excited. It's very new. And I'm working as well very close with Tri-City National Bank. And I definitely, any feedback that I could get from you, I'll share my email on here. But I did want to bring this up because I'm so excited about it. And it tears me apart that it's, some people say we should have it in English as well. And this time we're going to go on and we're going to do it only in Spanish, and possibly in the future have a session in Spanish and a session in English. So once again, that's all that I have for you today. It's 9:09, and I would like to once again thank the Hispanic Collaborative, Sinai, and all of you for your time.
Thank you so much, Cristina. Thank you, Sinai. This is a wonderful community resource, and this is the whole purpose of the Bank Roadshow, is just to hear about what's happening in the community. And I just want to thank everyone who's on the call for being here. And I hope you come back next month. It will be on Tuesday, April 19th. And if you would like a calendar invite, please let me know. And we look forward to keeping in touch on more things to come. Thanks so much. Have a great day.